Evan walked through the Fox Forest village at night, holding a small lantern in his hand. The air felt colder than usual, and even the trees looked different, as if they were watching him. He had lived among the fox people for months, but he had never seen the village this quiet. No music, no laughter, no warm firelight, only silence. A strange silence that made his skin feel tight. The moon above was bright and sharp like a blade. Its light made long shadows across the wooden paths. Evan looked around and noticed something else. Every door in the village was closed. Every window was covered. Even the children, who usually ran around at this hour, were gone. It was as if the entire tribe had disappeared. He took a slow step forward. The wooden boards under his feet creaked loudly in the silence. He stopped again and listened. Far away, from deep inside the forest, he heard drums, slow, heavy, and distant, like a heartbeat coming from the ground itself. Boom, boom, boom. It made the hair on his arms rise. What is happening tonight? He whispered to himself. Evan remembered how, at sunset, the village elder had told him not to go outside. The elder's voice had been shaky, eyes worried, tail lowered. Evan had asked why, but the elder only said, "Tonight is dangerous for you, human. Stay inside. Do not answer any voice that calls your name." But Evan never liked following warnings he didn't understand. He wanted answers. He wanted to know why everyone suddenly feared the night. As he continued forward, he heard a soft whisper behind him. He froze. The voice was gentle, almost like a breath, almost like a memory. He slowly turned around, but no one was there. Only the shadow of a hanging lantern moved in the wind. He took another step. Again, the whisper came. Evan, this time closer. A chill ran down his spine. He picked up his walking speed, trying to reach the central fire pit, hoping someone would be there. But the place was empty too. The fire was cold. The benches were unused. Dry leaves moved across the ground like tiny ghosts. Something was wrong. Very wrong. He turned to leave, then he felt movement above him. He looked up. A dark shape leapt from the roof of a tall wooden house, flying straight toward him. Before he could react, the shape landed on him with surprising force, pushing him down onto the ground. His lantern rolled away, and the moonlight fell on the figure, pinning him down. It was his fox wife. Her knees rested on either side of him, her hands gripping his shoulders. Her long fox tail shook wildly behind her. Her breathing was fast. Too fast. Her eyes were glowing a bright golden color he had never seen before. Her claws were sharp, yet she did not hurt him. Her entire body trembled, not with anger, but with need. A deep need she could not fight. "Arya?" Evan said softly, confused and shocked. "What are you doing?" She didn't answer. Instead, she pressed her forehead against his chest, her body shaking. She inhaled deeply, as if breathing him in. Then she lifted her head, her lips close to his ear, her voice trembling. "I'm your wife. Hold me." Evan's heart stopped for a moment. He had heard those words before, but never like this. Never with this fear. Never with this desperation. "Arya, what's happening to you?" he asked. Her hands gripped his shirt tightly. "My season," she whispered. "It has begun." Before Evan could respond, he heard movement all around. Doors opened slowly, window curtains lifted. Fox people peeked out, staring at them with wide eyes full of shock and fear. Some bowed their heads, some whispered prayers, some covered their children's eyes. Evan felt a deep tension growing in the air, as if everyone was waiting for what he would do next. As if their entire world depended on his reaction. Arya's voice came again, softer, more fragile. "Please, don't let me face this alone." Evan realized then, this was not an attack. It was a call for help. A call only he could answer, and the night was just beginning. Evan slowly helped Arya stand, but she held onto him tightly, as if her hands refused to let go. Her claws were shaking, her breath uneven, her eyes glowing with a mix of fear and instinct. She looked strong, but her body told a different story. She was losing control. The fox people around them whispered among themselves. Some looked worried, some curious, and some stepped back as if keeping a safe distance. Evan didn't understand why they acted like this. Arya was usually gentle, calm, and smart. But tonight, she was someone else. "Arya," Evan said softly, "I need you to tell me what is happening." But Arya only pressed closer. Her voice came out weak, almost broken. "My season. I didn't want you to see me like this. I tried to stay away. But my heart brought me to you." Her words confused him even more. Evan gently placed a hand on her back. Her body felt hot, too hot, like she was burning from inside. He looked at the fox people watching them. "Can someone explain what this means?" he asked. The elder finally stepped forward. His tails were low, his face serious. "Human," the elder said in a deep voice, "her sacred season has awakened. It is a powerful moment for every fox woman. Their instincts rise, their emotions become stronger than their mind, and their bodies search for the one they trust most." Evan's eyes widened. "And for Arya," the elder continued, "that one is you." Arya buried her face into Evan's chest, shaking. "I didn't want this," she whispered. "Not like this. Not without warning you." Evan felt her tears soak into his shirt. His chest tightened. He lifted her chin gently, so she could look at him. Her eyes, glowing gold, were filled with fear. "Arya, why are you scared?" he asked. "Because," she said in a trembling voice, "I don't want to hurt you. My instincts are too strong now. I can't control them. I don't want to lose myself and scare you away." Evan shook his head slowly. "I'm not scared." "Of you." Arya blinked, surprised, but then suddenly she pulled away from him. Her tails lifted high, her ears rose, her body tensed like she heard something dangerous. She looked toward the forest. She sniffed the air, fear returning to her. "Eyes, they are here," she whispered. "Who?" Evan asked quickly, but Arya didn't answer. She grabbed Evan's hand and pulled him toward a wooden house. Her movement was fast, almost too fast for him to follow. She pushed him inside and shut the door behind them. "Stay with me," she said. "Please, don't leave." Evan looked around the small room. It was Arya's personal space, soft blankets, old drawings, wooden carvings of fox spirits. A warm scent filled the air, but there was also a sharp smell of fear. Arya paced back and forth, breathing heavily. Then she suddenly stopped and turned to him. "You don't understand. When a fox woman enters her season, every instinct in her body chooses her mate. If that mate stays close, she becomes calm. If he leaves..." She closed her eyes tightly. "She breaks inside." Evan stepped closer to her. "So you need me to stay? Just stay with you?" Arya opened her eyes slowly. "Yes, but it is not simple. My season is strong because of you. Humans have a rare energy. When you touched me months ago, my heart marked you, even before I understood it." Evan shook his head in disbelief. "So you're saying this is because of me?" Arya took his hand and pressed it against her cheek. "Yes, my body calls you. My heart pulls me to you. And my instinct," she looked away shyly. "My instinct wants to stay in your arms." Evan felt his heart beat harder. He didn't know what to say. Suddenly, the door shook. Someone was outside. Arya growled softly, her tail spreading like a shield around Evan. "No one must enter," she said. "Not now. Not when my season is unstable." The elder's voice came from outside. "Arya, child, let him step away from you. It may calm your spirit." Arya hissed. "No, if he leaves, I will lose control." Evan looked between the door and Arya. He could see fear in her eyes, not fear of him, but fear of herself. Fear of being left alone in the storm inside her. He placed his hands gently on her shoulders. Arya, I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Her eyes softened instantly. Her breathing slowed. Her body relaxed. And then she whispered, almost like a prayer, "You don't know how much that saves me." Outside, the tribe listened in silence. Inside, the storm inside Arya calmed for now, but the danger of the sacred season had only just begun. Inside the small wooden room, Arya sat on the floor near Evan, her tails wrapped around her like a protective blanket. Her ears twitched at every sound outside, but her eyes stayed locked on him, as if he was the only stable thing left in her world. Evan could see the fire of instinct inside her, but also the fear she tried to hide. She spoke carefully, her voice low. "My season reacts to everything you do. Your voice, your breath, even your heartbeat. It's strange. I can sense you in a way I never sensed anyone before." Evan swallowed. "But why me? I'm just a human." Arya shook her head. "Not just. Humans carry a rare kind of spirit energy. It is warm, steady, different from any foxman. When I first met you, I didn't understand why my heart jumped. Now I do. My instincts marked you as my chosen mate long before I realized it." Evan sat down across from her. "And that's why your season is so strong now." She nodded slowly. "Yes, because you are near me. Because you touched me. Because you care." She looked away shyly, her ears turning red. "Even when I tackled you tonight, I didn't want to scare you. I only wanted to reach you." Evan felt a strange warmth in his chest. It wasn't romantic love, not yet. It was something deeper, a sense of responsibility. A sense that Arya trusted him more than anyone else. Before he could say anything, a loud thud hit the door. Arya's ears shot up. She growled softly, "Not again." She whispered. Evan stood, ready to face whatever was outside. The elder spoke from behind the door. "Arya, child, open. We must talk." Arya refused to move. "Not now, not when I'm unstable," the elder sighed. "It is not only about you. Some warriors are demanding answers. They say a human should not be the one calming a foxwoman's season. They question your bond." Arya's expression darkened. Her tails rose like sharp spears. "They do not understand," she said. "They cannot feel what I feel. And they fear what they do not understand," the elder replied. Evan stepped forward. "Let me talk to them." Arya grabbed his wrist. Instantly. "No," her voice broke. "If you go out now, they will test you. They will challenge your right to be my mate. You could get hurt." Evan gently touched her arm. "Arya, if I don't face this, your people will never accept me. But I don't want them to hurt you," she whispered, voice trembling. Evan smiled softly. "And I don't want to hide while people talk about you like you're losing control. You're stronger than that." Arya looked at his hand on hers. Her breathing slowed again. His calm touch was like medicine to her. "You steady me." "Every time," she said. Another thud hit the door, this time louder. The elder spoke again. "Arya, please," she said. Another thud hit the door, this time louder. The elder spoke again. "Arya, please, poke again. Let the human show his strength. Let him stand beside you." Arya closed her eyes. Her instincts screamed for Evan to stay close. Her heart begged him not to leave. But she also understood he was right. If he wanted to be accepted, he had to face this. She took a long breath and nodded. "Fine," she said. "But I stay with him." Evan opened the door slowly. Outside stood a group of fox warriors, strong and tall, their fur raised, tails flaring. Their eyes fixed on him. With suspicion and challenge, one stepped forward. His voice was sharp. You are the human she calls her mate. Prove your worth. A low growl rumbled in Araya's throat. He does not need to prove anything to you. But Evan lifted a hand. Gently. It's okay. The warrior pointed at him. If you cannot calm her, if you cannot stand the strength of her season, if you cannot protect her when she is weak, then you are not worthy of her bond. Arya took a step forward, but Evan stepped in front of her, protecting her. I'm not here to fight you, Evan said calmly. But I won't let anyone disrespect her. And I won't run from what she needs, the warriors murmured. The elder nodded with approval. Arya looked at Evan with wide eyes. She wasn't used to someone standing for her like this. Her heart already tied to him pulled even closer. She whispered softly, This is why my heart chose you. Evan didn't hear her. But the bond between them deepened. Invisible yet powerful. This was the moment the tribe began to see who the human truly was, and how dangerous his bond with the fox woman could become. The fox warriors formed a tight circle around Evan and Arya, their glowing eyes fixed on him with judgment and doubt. The air felt heavy, thick with tension. Arya stepped closer to Evan, her tails curling protectively around him, but the elder lifted his hand gently. Let the human speak for himself, the elder said. Evan took a deep breath. He was surrounded by creatures stronger, faster, and more experienced than he could ever be. But he didn't step back. He didn't look away. He stood tall. One warrior, the tallest among them, stepped forward. His fur was black with silver streaks, and his voice sounded like a growl. My name is Kale. I challenge your right to stand by our fox woman during her sacred season. Arya hissed softly, stepping between them. Kale, stop. This is not the time. Kale ignored her. A human is weak, fragile. How can he support a fox woman in her strongest season? How can he protect her when her instincts disorder her mind? Evan met Kale's eyes. I'm here because she wants me here, because she needs me. Not because I forced myself into her life, Kale scoffed. Words, empty words, prove that you are worthy of her bond. Araya's hand tightened around Evan's arm. You don't have to prove anything. They don't know our bond. They don't feel what I feel. But Evan slowly removed her hand, giving her a reassuring look. I know, he whispered. But if I don't do this, they'll never accept us. Araya's ash dropped. Her heart pulled toward him, but her fear grew even stronger. Her season made her emotionally fragile, and every step he took away from her felt like a knife. Kale raised a wooden staff decorated with fox symbols. The test begins with the trial of presence. Evan frowned. What does that mean? The elder answered. It tests if your calm spirit can steady Araya's mind, if your presence truly brings her peace. Kale pointed to Arya. If she loses control during the trial, you fail. Arya flinched. Kale, you know my season is strong. That is why the test matters, Kale interrupted. Evan stepped forward. Tell me what to do. Kale motioned to the center of the circle. Stand there. She will approach you. If she remains calm. You passed the first part. Evan nodded and walked to the center. Arya looked terrified. Her instincts were rising again, her tail shaking, her breath speeding up. Arya, Evan said softly. Come to me. She took one step and nearly collapsed. Kale smirked, but Evan ignored him and held out his hand. It's okay, he whispered. Just breathe. Look at me. Araya's golden eyes locked onto his. Her breathing slowed. Her shaking stopped. Her tails relaxed. Finally, she walked into his arms and leaned her head on his shoulder. A calm silence settled over the circle. Kale's smirk vanished. The elder nodded. He passed the trial of presence. Arya closed her eyes. Evan, your voice, your touch, it saves me every time. Kale growled. Fine, then we begin the second trial, the trial of shield. Evan looked uncertain. What is this? 1. Kale lifted his staff. During her season, Arya is vulnerable to outside threats. A true mate must protect her, even when he cannot rely on strength. Let us see if your heart is strong enough. Before Evan could ask more, Kale leaped forward with incredible speed, swinging the staff toward Arya. Evan reacted instantly. He stepped in front of her, shielding her with his body. The staff hit his arm hard. Pain shot through him, but he didn't move away. Arya gasped. Evan, you're hurt. I'm fine, he said through clenched teeth. I won't let anything touch you. Kale raised the staff again. This time, Evan used both arms to block it. The blow was stronger, but he didn't fall. Arya grabbed him, her voice shaking. Stop, he's not like you, he's human. Kale lowered his weapon slowly, eyes narrowing. He did not retreat. He stayed in front of her. He passed the second trial. Arya held Evan tightly, her voice breaking. Why would you do that? You could have been seriously hurt. Evan smiled weakly. Because you asked me to stay, and I will. Arya touched his injured arm gently. Her hands glowed with soft foxlight, healing the bruise. Kale watched in silence, but something in his expression had changed. Not anger, not mockery. Respect. The elder stepped forward. There is one final trial, the most important one, the trial of heart. Arya's eyes widened. No, not that one. Evan asked softly. What do I have to do? The elder replied, you must face Arya herself. At the peak of her instincts, Arya stepped back, fear flooding her eyes. Evan, if this trial begins, I might lose control. I don't want to hurt you. Evan touched her cheek. You won't. But deep inside, he didn't know what would happen. The night grew colder. The forest wind rose, and Arya's sacred season prepared to unleash its true power. The wind grew stronger as the tribe formed a wide circle around Evan and Arya. Torches flickered in the night, casting long shadows across the ground. The elder lifted his hand, and the drums began again, slow, deep, and unsettling. Each beat echoed through Arya's body, making her tails tremble. Evan looked at her carefully. She was breathing fast again, her eyes glowing brighter than before. Her claws flexed against the ground. She seemed torn between stepping closer to him and stepping away. Her instincts were rising, fierce and wild. Arya, Evan whispered, I'm right here. She flinched, as if his voice struck her heart directly. She grabbed her chest. Evan, I can't hold it anymore, she said, breath shaking. My season is reaching its peak. Everything I feel, it's too strong. Her legs weakened. For a moment she looked like she would fall, but then her body reacted in the opposite direction. With a sudden burst of strength, she jumped back, away from him, as if trying to protect him from herself. No, she cried out. I don't want to lose control in front of you. Kale stepped forward, raising his staff in caution. She must face the trial. The human must survive her instinct storm. Arya hissed at him, her ears flat, her fangs showing. Her seasoned instinct saw Kale as a threat, and Evan as the single target of her emotions. Her heart, mind, instincts, all tangled into one overwhelming force. Evan ignored Kale and took a step toward her. Arya, look at me, he said softly. She raised her head slowly. Her eyes were different now, golden, bright, unsteady. The eyes of someone who was fighting herself from the inside. Don't, she whispered. If you come closer, I won't be able to stop myself. I might cling too hard. I might break. I might hurt you without meaning to. Evan shook his head. You won't hurt me. Arya's tails thrashed wildly as her instincts surged again. She pressed her hands to the ground as if trying to keep herself from leaping at him. Kale growled. Her instinct storm is beginning. Human, if you cannot calm her now, the bond is weak. Arya's head snapped toward Kale, and for a moment, The wildness inside her grew stronger. She looked ready to attack anyone who spoke against Evan. "She needs you," the elder whispered to Evan. "Go to her, before she loses herself completely." Evan took a deep breath and stepped closer. Araya's body shook violently. She backed away again, terrified of her own feelings. "Evan, please stay back. I don't want to become dangerous." But Evan kept walking. Slowly, calmly. Each step made her breathing change. Each step pulled her instincts toward him. Like a magnet, when he was only a few feet away, Araya's controls snapped. She lunged forward and collapsed into his arms instead of attacking. Her fingers dug into his shirt, not to harm, but to hold. She buried her face in his chest, trembling, as if caught in a storm. Her tails wrapped around his waist, pulling him closer. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I'm sorry. I need you. I need you near me, or I'll break. Please don't let go." Evan wrapped his arms around her gently. "I'm here. I won't leave you." The moment he touched her, the storm inside her shifted. Her breathing slowed, her shaking eased. The wild glow in her eyes softened, replaced with something fragile, desperate, warm. The entire tribe watched in silence. Kale lowered his staff. The elder's eyes widened in amazement. "She calms instantly." "With one touch," the elder whispered. Arya clung to Evan like he was the only thing holding her together. "Your presence, it stops the pain, the fear, everything." Evan stroked her hair softly. "Then hold me. It's okay." Arya closed her eyes. For the first time that night, she looked peaceful. Safe, but it didn't last. Her instincts surged. Again stronger than before. She gripped Evan's arms, her claws lightly scratching him by accident. Her breathing grew fast and unsteady. "No, not again," she whispered. "It's too strong this time. I can't stop it." Evan tightened his hold. "I won't let you fall." She looked up at him with glowing eyes, overflowing with emotion. "Evan, please don't leave me alone in this." "You're not alone," he said firmly. "I'm right here." Her body relaxed against him once more. The elder stepped forward. He passed the trial of heart, his bond steadies. Her even at the peak of her season. Arya leaned against Evan, exhausted, trembling, but peaceful in his arms. And Evan realized something important. This was no longer just instinct. Their hearts were beginning to choose each other. Arya leaned heavily against Evan, her breaths uneven, her body weak from the storm inside her. Her golden eyes flickered like a dying flame, fighting between instinct and exhaustion. The elder stepped closer, lowering his head with deep respect. "The trial is complete," he said. "Take her to the sacred den. It is the only place where her spirit can rest." Kale bowed as well, though reluctantly. "The human has proven himself. No foxman has ever calmed a woman this deep into her season." Arya tightened her grip on Evan's shirt. "I don't want to go anywhere alone." Evan gently touched her cheek. "You won't be alone. I'm coming with you." Her eyes softened instantly. The wildness fading into fragile relief. Two foxwomen guided them toward the sacred den, a hidden cave deep in the forest where only bonded mates were allowed. The path was quiet except for Araya's soft breathing, and the path was quiet except for Araya's soft breathing, and the path was quiet and the distant drums fading slowly into the night. The trees bowed under the wind, as if watching their steps. When they reached the sacred den, the foxwomen opened the stone door. Warm, soft light glowed from inside, and the air smelled like earth and calm spirits. Evan helped Arya inside, and the door closed behind them, sealing them away from the tribe. Arya collapsed onto the soft floor, her tail spreading weakly around her. She looked small, vulnerable, nothing like the strong warrior he first met. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "You shouldn't have to see me like this." Evan knelt beside her. Arya, you don't have to apologize for needing someone. Everyone needs someone. She shook her head. Not like this, my season. It shows everything I hide. Every fear, every desire, every weakness. I never wanted you to see me so helpless. Evan placed his hand on hers. You're not helpless. You're fighting something powerful inside you. And you're still here. Her eyes filled with tears she tried to hide. Evan, when you touch me, I can breathe again. When you speak, the storm inside me slows. I don't understand why your presence means so much, but it scares me how much I need you tonight. He gently squeezed her hand. Then let me stay. Let me be here for you. Araya's voice cracked. You would stay? Even if I break down? Even if I can't control myself? Evan nodded. I already chose to stay. Arya closed her eyes and exhaled slowly. Relief washed over her face. She curled toward him like a frightened child, resting her head on his lap. He stroked her hair gently, his fingers moving through her soft fox ears. She trembled at first, then slowly calmed. Minutes passed. Then an hour. Evan stayed, silent and patient. He didn't push her away. He didn't tell her to hide her feelings. He simply stayed. At one point, Araya's instincts surged again. She grabbed his arm tightly, her claws digging into his skin by accident. She gasped, pulling back. Sorry. I didn't mean. It's okay, Evan said calmly. I'm here. She broke into tears, burying her face in his chest. Why do you make me feel safe, even when I'm at my worst? He didn't know how to answer. He only held her closer. Outside the sacred den, the tribe kept silent. No one disturbed them. Fox people whispered about the human who calmed a storm no warrior could control. Inside, the night passed slowly. Araya's breaths steadied. Her heartbeat slowed. Her instincts softened until only her true self remained. At last, she looked up at him with clear golden eyes, no wildness, no fear, only gentle warmth. Evan? Yes? She reached up and touched his cheek. You stayed. The whole time, even when I told you to run. Even when I was dangerous. He smiled. I said I wouldn't leave. Araya's eyes softened with something deeper than instinct, something real. No one has ever stayed for me like that. She rested her forehead against his chest again, peaceful for the first time. When morning light seeped into the den, the elder opened the stone door slightly. He saw Evan holding Arya protectively. Her tails curled around him like she never wanted to let him go. The elder whispered to himself, a human heart is stronger than we believed. Arya slowly woke, her body calm, her season fading. She looked at Evan, still beside her. And for the first time, she smiled softly and said, You saved me. Not with strength, but with your heart. Morning sunlight slid slowly into the sacred den, turning the warm stone walls golden. Evan opened his eyes to find Arya already awake, watching him quietly. Her golden eyes were clear now, no wild season glow, no trembling, no fear. Only calm. Only softness. She studied his face for a long moment, as if memorizing every detail. You really stayed all night, she whispered, voice still gentle from sleep. Evan smiled weakly. I told you I would. Araya's tails curled forward, wrapping lightly around his waist like a soft hug. She lowered her head with shy warmth. I woke many times, and every time you were beside me, like a steady light. He touched her shoulder gently. I didn't want to leave you alone in that storm. Arya looked down at her hands. It was more than a storm. It was everything I am, my fears, my heart. My instincts, you saw all of it. You saw parts of me even the tribe never sees. Before Evan could respond, the stone door opened slightly. The elder peeked in, his expression soft but respectful. May we enter? Arya nodded. The elder, Kale, and several fox people stepped inside. Their steps were slow, Almost ceremonial, as they looked at the pair resting close together, Kale bowed deeply to Evan. "Human, I doubted you. But last night proved what strength truly is." Evan blinked in surprise. Kale had never spoken to him with respect before. The elder stepped forward next, placing a hand over his heart. "You calmed a fox woman at her strongest season. You protected her with no fear, and you stayed when most would run. This is not something we can ignore." Arya moved closer to Evan, as if claiming him silently. The elder continued, "You have earned the title of Heartbinder. A human has not held this title for more than 100 years. A soft murmur spread among the Fox people. Evan frowned. "Heartbinder?" Arya touched his hand gently. "It means your heart has the power. To steady mine, it means our bond is real." Kale nodded. "Only one who can balance the storm of a fox woman is worthy of that title." Evan swallowed, unsure how to react. "I just stayed with her." The elder smiled. "Precisely. Sometimes staying is the greatest strength." Arya looked at Evan with shining eyes. Her voice trembled slightly, but this time with emotion, not fear. "I want to speak," she said softly. The tribe fell silent. Arya stepped forward but kept her hand tightly in Evan's. "Last night, I feared my instincts more than I feared anything else. I feared losing myself. I feared hurting him. I feared being rejected. But Evan," she looked at him with warm gratitude, "he never stepped away, even when I begged him to." Her tails swayed gently around her. "When my season broke me, he held me together. When I cried, he listened. When I lost control, he calmed me. And when I was most afraid, he stayed. No foxman ever did that for me." Kale lowered his head in respect. The elder bowed even deeper. Arya turned fully toward Evan. Her voice softened even more. "I knew my instincts chose you months ago, but last night I understood something much bigger. My heart chose you too." Evan felt his breath catch. Arya stepped closer, placing her forehead lightly against his chest. "Evan, you were not just the one I needed during my season. You are the one I want after it too." The tribe watched silently, respectfully. Evan wrapped an arm around her shoulders, holding her gently. "Arya, I didn't know if I could help you. I didn't know if I was strong enough. I only knew I couldn't leave." Arya looked up at him. "Then stay with me, not because my season demands it, but because you want to." Evan nodded slowly, a warm smile growing on his face. "I want to stay." Arya's eyes shined with deep emotion, and her tails wrapped around him in a soft embrace. Suddenly, the elder spoke again. "Then let it be known. From this day forward, Evan is the chosen mate of Arya of the Fox tribe." The tribe bowed. In unison, Arya looked at Evan, cheeks warm, heart full. She pulled him closer and whispered the words that had started everything that night, but now in a calm, loving tone. "I'm your wife. Hold me." Evan did, and the bond that formed between them changed not only their lives, but the fate of the entire Fox tribe.